This is Ryan Pierce, host of Completely Serious. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media.
This is Rachel Mullins, host of #NoFilterFriday here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my new show, #NoFilterFriday, where we talk about all of the sexual misconduct allegations swirling around Hollywood. A new show drops every Friday at 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you'll never miss an episode of #NoFilterFriday. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Last time on the Gregg and Dave Show.
Sorry, this is going to be a lot to edit. But...
Oh, well, this is going about how I was expecting. So,
okay.
It's time for the Gregg and Dave Show.
We do have a studio audience here at the Gregg and Dave Show.
We do.
Put them behind a wall and ask them to be quiet.
Featuring Greg Watsteiner.
We were just talking about spam.
And David Bobkey.
I want to make sure I'm dating the right now.
Bravely bringing you the stories of the strange.
We all applaud Sweden for sticking with Trainee McTrainface.
I'm thinking of changing my name to Greggy McGregface.
What, you high? Now sit back and enjoy the show.
And we don't need to say any more about how unpleasant that is.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another fine episode of the Gregg and Dave Show. I am the Greg.
And I am Dave Show.
Dave Show, does this sound like something you might want to order? A Rejection Stink Dog?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Well, we would like to let you know that you can find us. We are presented by Public House Media, and you can find their fine work and all their fine podcasts at thephmedia.com. Otherwise known, Dave Show, as
The Pho Media.
The Pho Media.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank them so much for hosting us. Hope you enjoyed our best of show last week.
Yeah, that was fun.
We took a day off. I don't know.
It was a little trip down memory lane, really.
Yeah. So we've got some fun stories today involving, I guess, Rejection Stink Dogs. But first, Dave Show, let's talk about the lovely topic of rejection.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a lovely topic, Dave Show, of rejection. And before we do that, if you don't want to reject us, you can go to our Facebook page at The Gregg Dave Show. Greg is spelled with Gregg. Dave is spelled normally, and show is spelled normally.
Yes, facebook.com/Gregg Dave Show.
Gregg Dave Show, yes. So you can go there. Dave Show, have you ever been rejected?
That would require effort on my part in any way, shape, or form, I think. So,
I hear you there, brother. I don't put much effort into my dating life. Dave Show and I are both extremely single.
Yep, Charlie Lagarde, I'm still waiting to hear back from you.
I like to say, Dave Show, I'm just waiting for the right one to come along.
You basically feel like you're waiting for Miss Right and not necessarily Miss Right now.
Right, exactly. Good one, Dave Show.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you one thing that's getting rejected is this generic cola that I'm drinking right now.
Oh, really?
That is... Probably doesn't help that it's sat overnight in the fridge, but anyway... Nonetheless, yes, as we've been alluding to, though, we have an odd story from... You know what, just once I should come on the show and I should say, you know what, we have a lousy story here. This is just a terrible story. I usually say, oh, it's an interesting story, or this is a fun story. It's like, no, this is a lame story. But anyway, no, this one from pulse.com.gh.
Okay.
And the story is about... a man rejected by women, but not just rejected by a few women. He's been rejected a reported 80,000 times. That is 80,000 times. But he's still trying.
You know, good for him. I give him an A for effort for trying.
I'll give him an A for effort. I'm going to give him an F on math, and I'll explain why in a moment. This gentleman's name is New Zhangfeng, which I'm probably mispronouncing, but, it's doing the best I can here. He is reported to have said that he messaged women about 60,000 times online. That's with a 6, not an 8. But most of them rejected his love proposal, while others did not honor it with any reply. And they've got a little picture of him here, and he looks like an okay-looking guy. I mean, not, he's no Brad Pitt, but he also seems to be missing an eyebrow, which I'm just noticing now. That's interesting. It says here he's a 31-year-old man from China who's been rejected about 80,000 times within the last 8 years.
Oh.
So just to put that in the time frame, we're talking about 10,000 rejections per year. This guy is basically the Wilt Chamberlain of rejection.
Yes.
And I say that because I totally don't believe this guy. For anyone not familiar, are you familiar with the Wilt Chamberlain claim, the Gregg?
I'm not.
Okay, Wilt Chamberlain, the fine basketball player, one of the all-time greats when it comes to basketball. Wilt Chamberlain, in his day, claimed to have, let's say, we won't go into details, but let's just say he was accepted by at least 20,000 women.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
That was his claim. Now, if you actually do the math, he basically would have averaged, again, let's say, being accepted by a woman approximately every 15 minutes, if that was the case. So, I'm not really buying Wilt's claim.
Mm-hmm.
It mathematically just didn't make sense.
Right.
But this guy, again, claiming 80,000 rejections in 8 years. The Gregg, would you say you and I combined were anywhere close to that number?
No. But again, as you mentioned at the top, we don't put a lot of effort. This guy would be a great sales guy, because he just keeps cold calling, keeps being rejected, but continues on.
He's like Charlie Brown. He just keeps plugging along.
Yep.
Well, the story here says he's been nicknamed the Dating Madman. Again, says he messaged women about 60,000 times online, and he has estimated that he has approached at least 20 to 30,000 women physically on the streets. Which makes me wonder what he's actually saying to them when he does that.
Yeah.
If he's just going up to women and saying, "Will you marry me?" and getting slapped, okay, that takes, 10 seconds at most?
Right.
So, I guess that would help his case. Again, it says here he confirmed the number and tried to break it down after newsmen sought after him when he was recently featured in a Pair video. I'm guessing Pair is another website or news show of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he is still soldiering on. He ventured into the woman hunting expedition after the demise of his father in order to make a family. But he said most of the women, quote, say that as a man, you have to have a house.
Yeah.
Fair enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Helps to have a place to live.
Here, honey, let's live on the streets together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, it's like the Beatles said, love is all you need, right? That's the other side of the coin, maybe. Maybe he's just finding women that are too picky, wanting a place to live and food and things like that.
I mean, come on, how high maintenance can you be? How much can you ask?
Yeah. How many pairs can you really want, after all? He was seen in 2013 roaming in the streets of Beijing with a notice advertising him and his contact details, all aimed at finding a suitor.
I want to look this guy up on Facebook so bad.
We may have to do that during our commercial break or something.
Yeah.
He has admitted he is not as wealthy as the women would have expected. He said other factors that are contributing to his failure to find a suitor has to do with the fact that he is short and ugly. That's a bad duo.
Yeah.
I think the ugly thing definitely hurts. I think the short can be overcome. You can get lifts or something.
That pretty much describes you, Dave Show, doesn't it?
Short and ugly?
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot for pointing that out.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna drink more of this cola right here.
Okay.
Okay. This is Bale. How you doing over there? Good? Okay, talk about short and... Never mind. Some women on social media...
That's what I meant, by the way. It describes Mrs. Bale.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what you meant.
Because you are tall and...
Tall, dark, and handsome?
Slender, handsome, and...
And within striking distance? Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Some women on social media hold a different view. They believe the man looks too aggressive and desperate, saying, quote, love can't be forced. And like I said, I mean, I'm not a great judge of these things, I suppose, necessarily, but this is not a hideous guy. This is not a guy who, has massively uneven eyes or a horn sticking out the side of his head or anything like that. I mean, yeah, I think it's probably more the desperation thing.
Right.
I think if you're appealing to every woman that you meet...
Right.
Yeah, I could see where that would be a bit of a turnoff. I guess I've seen that from the other side too. I've seen women who just want to be with somebody, and I guess I found that rather unattractive.
Mm-hmm.
We will wish him well, and we'll have to look him up on Facebook.
We will. Yes, we will.
Have you got a segue, Greg?
You know what? I do have a segue right in my back pocket here. Let me pull it out.
Okay.
Wait, someone stole my segue. No, wait, I still have it. Okay, here it goes. Are you ready for this one, Dave Show?
I'm sitting down and buckled in. Okay, I'm ready.
Maybe this guy is being rejected because maybe he is short and ugly, and maybe he stinks.
Maybe he stinks?
Like smells really bad. And you know what? Now there's a cure for that. There's kind of an app for that.
That was very good, yes. Can we, Mrs. Bale, can we have the audience applauding? I can tell they're applauding. Fine. A fine segue once again, the Greg.
Thank you.
I must commend you on a fine job there. Yes, our next story comes from AndroidCommunity.com. Not sure if that's the Android operating system or if that's actual androids that run this website. But nonetheless, it could be either at this point. This is a story that popped up fairly recently. This is an item that's out. It should be out there, folks. It shouldn't be a new thing. And it's titled, the article that is, Japan now has a gadget to tell you if you stink. And I'm glad we don't have it in the room right now because, I don't know, I've seen our ratings and we stink. But anyways, for anyone who has ever worked in an office environment, one of the most awkward things is how to let one of your colleagues know that they kind of stink. Literally. Okay, probably no one has actually told an office mate that, unless you're a jerk, or unless you're really that close of a friend to him or her. In Japan, apparently, the number one etiquette concern is odor, which led to Konica Minolta creating a pocket-sized odor detector, which can tell you if you're emanating a not-so-pleasant odor. Look, Greg, do you ever stink?
I'm sure that I do. For instance, last night, I was at a fairly large music festival. It was fairly hot out in the sun. I was sweating, and pretty sure I smelt my own or someone else's body odor. That's a weird feeling.
Indeed. I'm wondering, how do you put this device on you in a clandestine sort of a way? This is not something I imagine that you want to strap onto your arm, or I don't know how it's shaped, I guess. So, I mean, if you've got one of those little pocket tees that you have the pens in or something, and you can tuck it in there out of sight, I guess that would work fine. But otherwise, if I see somebody walking around work and they've got this weird little protrusion, and I say, "Hey, Bob, what's that?" And they say, "Oh, this tells me if I stink." It's kind of, I don't know. I don't want to say it defeats purpose, but it's,
Yeah.
Weird. But I digress. The device is called Kun Body, which is from the Japanese word for sniff.
See, you learned a new Japanese word today on the Gregg and Dave Show.
We sure are. Kun apparently means sniff. You can use it to test for smell in 4 critical olfactory areas. Ready? Near the head, behind the ear, under the armpit, and around the feet. It's shaped like a tape recorder and connects to your smartphone through Bluetooth. It will give you the results in a discrete manner through the app, telling you which category your smell falls into. It will even give you advice if immediate care, in quotes, is needed, aka you probably have to freshen up.
Right. Take a shower, dude. That's what the app will say. At least that's what my version of the app would say.
Yeah, if you can take a shower at work, I guess that's one option. I guess then, of course, if it tells you 10 minutes later that you stink again, then you're Mrs. Bale. Anyways, and it's shaped like a tape recorder, which you and I probably know what tape recorders are here. Mrs. Bale knows what a tape recorder is. How many of the kids today know what a tape recorder is?
That's true.
I don't know. But anyways, if it's shaped like a tape recorder, yeah, this goes back to my problem of where exactly do you keep it? Without people noticing and getting all weird on you. It goes on here, if you have a problem with an office mate, you can probably give this as a gift to everyone in the office so as not to be that obvious that you're pertaining to a particular person.
Right. Because you wouldn't want it, for obvious reasons. You wouldn't want to just give it to one person. Hey, you stink, take this.
Yeah, this is more like, hey, one of you stinks.
Yeah.
I'm spending all this extra money on the rest of you. Some of you who maybe smell perfectly lovely.
Now, here is an actual serious question here. Does it just detect, like, body odor? Or is it going to be able to detect like, smells, too? For instance, I know my mother has, like, a pretty strong reaction to smells, like when people are wearing excessive perfume.
Mm-hmm.
Would it detect that, or is it just bad smells?
It says here, well, actually, as I'm looking through the article, it says there's even a word for office mates who actually smell, which apparently, sumehara, I believe is the word, or smell harassment, which is interesting. I'm guessing this is just a human smell, opposed to, again, as you said, excessive perfumes or something of that nature, or really stinky cheese, let's say. I'm not seeing anything along those lines here, so I'm guessing this is just body smells.
Wonder if an alarm goes off. There's so many things I wonder about this app, like if an alarm goes off, or how it tells you that you smell. Like how would you know? Like, does it vibrate?
Yeah, I guess you just have to pull up the app on your phone, and it would be good though if it did have that emergency sort of a notification, like
right.
Go into the restroom right now.
Yeah.
Go home right now. You're
home
beyond
right
repair. That sort of a thing, yeah.
Yes.
It says Kun Body is being sold as part of a set of care products, and they're selling it in a crowdfunding drive, and they can get it at a discounted price of 30,000 yen, which is about $265, before it hits the market at a higher price. So right there, I mean, if it's about $265 American, and there are no plans to sell it outside of Japan for now. To use this thing, first of all, you have to move to Japan. Secondly, you have to find some stinky office mates. And thirdly, the article suggests that you buy a bunch of these for people who work in your office, so that you can not only tell one of your new office mates that they stink, but you can also get other people in the office mad at you too for inferring that they stink. So for, a couple $1,000, you can get your office ticked off at you and have the guy who stinks probably not even use the darn thing.
Just what I've always wanted, Dave Show.
Yep. Wasting money in Japan.
App I never knew I needed.
Yep. Well, if this show had that app, I think it'd be beeping at us right now.
Yeah, telling us it's time to go to commercial break.
Indeed. Commercial break, and we're going to have more information on new Zhang Feng when we come back.
Mistakes have been made today, but this is not one of them.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong here. I suck.
You're listening to the Gregg and Dave Show.
Hi, I am the Gregg.
And I am Dave Show.
We would like to encourage you to buy Public House Media clothing. It's under our merch store, which is at
pubhousemedia.storeenvy.com.
And you can get all sorts of Public House Media merch with the names and logos of the shows on them. That's right, you could get a logo of us on a shirt. Dave Show, how do you feel about that?
Absolutely terrified, actually, but thankfully, I'm looking at the website right now. They have taken down the t-shirts with our faces on them and just put a big black X over them and saying nobody wants this. But we do still have shirts available with the Gregg and Dave Show logo on it.
Yes.
We have lady short sleeve t-shirts. We got hoodies. We got unisex tank tops, short sleeve shirts. Plenty of options there. Well, there's plenty of other good stuff on here too, including coffee mugs. Yeah, coffee mugs for every show on the network here.
So again, that website address is
pubhousemedia.storeenvy.com.
go there today and get your official Public House Media merch.
Did you like that song? It's called Hard Boiled, and it's available on incompetech.com. Thanks to Kevin MacLeod for use of that. And stuff.
And now, the dramatic conclusion of the Gregg and Dave Show.
It's just like working in a fish market, except you don't have to clean and gut fish all day.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Gregg and Dave Show on Public House Media. Dave Show, this has been a very interesting show, to say the least. We started the show with talking about rejection, then we talked about the stink.
Indeed.
Our stinky show, or our stinky something. And now we're going to talk about cute little dogs.
Before we jump into that, the Gregg and
Update.
An update.
On New Zhang Feng.
I get that segue.
Jumping through the hoop to the Facebook, where we have found New Zhang Feng, who is studying at Washington University in St. Louis, and is also a girl. So I'm pretty sure this is the wrong profile. So look at a different profile with somebody who has the same name. And interestingly enough, on this profile, it says that this person is in a relationship.
Oh.
Very interesting there. Also does not quite look like the same guy, and has a picture of an iPhone in a place that iPhones don't go.
We'll just leave it at that.
Well, it's also part of a female anatomy here, which I don't think belongs to him. So I'm going to guess that's not him.
Right.
So, so we have the update basically on you is we have no update.
Okay. Excellent, Dave Show. Thanks for that.
Yes, that was some biting information, wasn't it,
This show is going to the dogs.
It is going to the dogs in a big, big way. And thank goodness for that, because we have an adorable story here about a police dog. There's a little police dog. Well, this dog's name is Poncho.
Poncho.
Now, the Gregg, I know that you're not a big fan of dogs personally.
I'm not a big fan of dogs. How'd you guess?
Yeah, well, I hear things, rumors on the internet.
Yeah.
But how would you feel if you were not feeling well and you knew that this particular dog could perform CPR and you could need it at any moment?
I've been thinking about that since I read this story just a few minutes before going on air today. I don't know how I'd feel about a dog saving my life. I mean, I guess I'd be thankful, but I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Indeed. Well, thanks to usnews.com, they have a video titled "Adorable Police Dog Performs CPR on Handler." Also notes the source for this is Inform News. It says here, "Adorable police dog performs CPR on handler. Poncho to the rescue." The Madrid municipal police pup showed off his first aid training at a live show for children when his handler appeared unconscious. Poncho ran over and immediately started performing chest compressions. The video has been blowing up on social media, getting over 2.31 million views. This video has more views than our man New Zhang Feng has rejections, which is the way it should be.
More views than the Gregg and Dave Show Facebook page.
That's the truth. But the video here, I've watched a little bit of it, and for anybody curious, how exactly does a dog do CPR? First of all, I don't think it does the mouth stuff at all.
Right.
I saw none of that.
Let's hope.
So if you're kind of averse to dog slobber in your mouth, and who of us isn't, there doesn't seem to be any of that. But the person was laid out on the ground, the dog comes over, and if you've ever seen a dog try to pounce on something, just kind of getting up to it, getting on its hind legs, and then shooting its front paws downward very sharply, that's basically what this pup tries to do to its handler, try to kind of compress the chest down and tries to do it 3 times. And then it takes its head in one of its paws and kind of lays on the handler's neck for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
And as if it's trying to find a pulse, more or less.
Okay.
I don't know if it knows what it's doing there, but that's what it does. And then it goes right back to the chest compressions. So for a dog, I will say, fairly impressive.
I would agree.
And you're not going to see a cat doing that anytime soon, I'll tell you that much.
No.
Yeah. Or a bird.
Or a bird.
I'm not mentioning dead birds this week.
No, we're not talking about dead birds.
Not talking about dead birds this week. That is not a subject that will come up.
So what happened? Did the guy live?
It was thankfully just for show. Thankfully just for show. The handler finally popped up and pet the dog and scratched the dog and all that. So Pancho did a good job, and it's a lovely little story, and it shows you the triumph of the canine spirit.
Yes.
It's kind of like that Homeward Bound movie, but not.
However, it doesn't make me less afraid of dogs.
Yeah.
You know what's weird, though? I love going on YouTube and listening to dogs bark sometimes.
Interesting.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of more scenarios where you'd be okay with dogs. What if it was a quiet dog that brought you food?
A quiet dog that didn't jump, lick, or bark?
Yeah, outside of let's say an emergency, maybe it would bark.
Right. Maybe I'd be okay with that. I don't know, though. Still knowing that it was a dog. Still hearing the dog's feet, pounce. And you can hear a dog from a mile away.
Not making a Mrs. Bale joke. Okay. Moment has passed. So we'll start that contest here on the Gregg and Dave Show. Find the Gregg a dog. Where he will... I think you could rattle through 80,000 rejections in no time flat.
Yes.
Should be very doable.
Yes.
So,
I'll just start with everybody on my Facebook page.
We'll put Pancho on that list, and you'll hit 80,000 by next week, easy.
Tune in to find out.
Where we'll also set up a dating profile for New Zhang Feng. We'll end up finding him a dog somehow, and the dog will stick. Tying it all together.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, you did good. You did good this week. You listened to the show, you tuned in, you stuck it out with us, and I'm proud of you. And I'm going to give you a gold star. I don't have a gold star. They get an A for effort. There you go.
They get an A for effort.
Big A for effort, and Mrs. Bale's giving me the okay sign. So you have won Mrs. Bale's approval.
Next week we may talk about angry table turners from China or Japan.
Yeah, we're gonna get very contentious in here.
Maybe we should knock over tables next week, Dave Show.
I'll knock over some tables right now.
Really?
I got a table right here. I'll knock it over.
Really?
Yeah. See, there we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Knock that table over. Never mind that the table was only 2 inches tall, but I knocked it over. I went there.
Now you have to pick it up.
You have to pick it up. Mrs. Bale will get upset with me. She'll take my gold stars away.
You've been listening to The Gregg and Dave Show. The Gregg and Dave Show theme is Take a Chance by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com.